Welcome to another video, the same every time. IGCSE Maths, GCSE Maths, the same every time. We're looking at questions that are, well, as the title says, the same every time, so you can learn how to do them, get yourself the marks, get yourself into the grades. Highest common factor in this video, exam question. Work out the highest common factor, HCF, of 75 and 105. If you watched the previous video, perhaps you want to pause the video now and try the question yourself. Then you can compare your answer with mine. I'm going to continue, and the method that I suggest is using factor trees to work out the prime factors for both of these numbers, 75 and 105. I'm going to do this non-calculator. Some GCSE papers do have a non-calculator paper. The numbers are a little bit tricky though, aren't they, for non-calculators? 75. I need to think of two numbers that multiply together to make 75. Well, I know that 2 times 25 is 50, so I'm going to go with 3 times 25, which makes 75. 3 is a prime number. Remember, you must learn those first few prime numbers. If you're not sure what they are, have a look at the video about factor trees and prime factors. 25, two numbers that multiply to make 25. Well, 5 times 5 is 25, isn't it? And that's quite convenient because 5 and 5 are both prime numbers. So I'm going to write 75 as a product of prime numbers. So 75 is going to be equal to 3 times 5 times 5, so 3 times 5 to the power 2. 3 times 5 times 5, 3 times 5 to the power 2. Now 105, I need to think of two numbers, doing this non-calculator, remember, that multiply together to make 105. Now I know from looking at this number that 105 is in the 5 times table. How do I know that? Because it ends with a 5. Remember, any number that ends with a 5 or ends with a 0 will be in the 5 times table. So something times 5 is going to make 105. I know that 20 times 5 is 100, so 20 times 5 plus another 5, 21 times 5 will give me 105. 5 is a prime number, so I circle. And 21, well, I'm thinking 3 times 7 is 21. 3 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number. So I'm going to write 105 over here as my product of prime numbers. 3 times 5 times 7. That's all I need to do. So 3 times 5 times 7. Notice I'm lining up my numbers here. All the 3's are in a column, the 5's are in a column, the 7's in a column. I did leave a space for 2 in case we needed it, but it turned out that we didn't. So what I need to do to work out the highest common factor, just look at these two lists. And which numbers happen in both lists. So I have a 3 in both lists. So I'm going to start with a 3. What else do I have in both lists? There's a 5 there and a 5 there. So a 5 in both lists. So I'm going to write down 5. There is a 7, but that only happens with the 105. Now I need to look at the powers. In the 75, I've got 3, which is just 3 to the power 1. And in the 105, I've got 3 to the power 1. So the smallest power of 3 is 3 to the power 1. In my 75, I've got 5 to the power 2. In my 105, I've got 5 to the power 1, just a 5. So the smallest power of 5 is 5 to the power 1. So I must multiply those together. Well, it's just 3 times 5, isn't it? And I know 3 times 5 is 15. So the highest common factor, the biggest number that will divide into 75 and 105 is 15. So there we are, the same every time. Notice I'm showing my method here. My factor trees are my method and my working out on the right hand side. I did all of this non-calculator. Could be a question from a non-calculator paper. Okay, these are the same every time apart from the numbers. Learn how to do them and you get yourself into the marks, you get yourself into the grades. If you found that video useful, press the subscribe button and I will be back for the next video.